follow up here on that, Tom, is the Belichick portion of it. And, your report saying that many have reached out to Bill, and Tom is one of them, about, how committed are you? Here, can you grab a cocktail napkin in Chapel Hill and write resignation as the HC of UNC on it? And immediately what comes out is here he is on the recruiting trail in Oradell, New Jersey with this kid, and his Twitter account's filled with photographs of kids that he's recruiting, and he has no plans. His commitment is to what he's doing. You hear those phrases all the time in our world, and then all of a sudden it switches. Is there a possibility that somebody coughs up $10 million and buys out Bill, and he is a head coach in the NFL by the end of this month? Tom?
Here's where I would start with this, Rich. I would say, Mike Lombardi is a very entertaining guy. He did a publicity tour yesterday in which I believe he called my report a 100% falsehood, and then followed it up by confirming virtually every detail in that report. I never said Bill Belichick was leading, that anything was imminent. I said there have been calls. And in fact, other outlets also have since confirmed that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did speak about the job. So that's real. Bill Belichick, having heard from other organizations, is real. Does anything end up happening? That's still to be determined. Right now, we have 6 head coaching vacancies in the NFL. We potentially could have another 1 or 2 that pop up here in the coming weeks, again, depending on things like what happens with Mike McCarthy in Dallas, what potentially happens with any of the playoff games, and if anybody decides to make a later move in this cycle. There's only a few surefire candidates. It's really, in talking to league people for weeks, it's Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson, and then he cut in to draw a line. I would also put Aaron Glenn into that category. I know that he interviewed really well with the Jets. He's really sharp, and he's obviously coming from a good program. He's a former player. He's an energy guy and a culture guy. I do think that Aaron Glenn's got a really good chance, whether that's the Jets, the Saints. I mean, every team requested him. The only team he turned down was New England, based upon a variety of different factors with how the Patriots are operating in their search here. But once you get past those 2 or 3 guys, who are you hiring? Are you going into the older bucket of Pete Carroll and John Gruden? Pete's had a couple of interviews. John Gruden, I would still anticipate his name is going to come up here. Are you taking a swing at one of the younger guys, the Liam Cohens of the world? Or do you call a guy who's got 8 Super Bowl rings and is currently, driving around and wearing a black suit, taking photos with a bunch of 16-year-olds at high schools around North Carolina? It's a picture that still is unusual. I don't want to say disconcerting, but it's definitely, you just see it, and it still is weird to see Bill doing this here. Yeah, sure. Is he committed as much as any head coach in college football has ever committed? I'm sure that, when it comes down to it, and if Bill's the head coach of North Carolina in September, he's going to be doing everything he can to go out there and win those football games. We're still early in the search process. And if anything were to happen, if Bill were to listen, and by the way, again, he took Tom Brady's call, he has listened, then that might still be a couple of weeks away here. So we continue to stay tuned on exactly what the future is going to hold for Bill Belichick. You would say at the moment, he does not have an NFL offer, and so the odds are good that he stays in North Carolina. If somebody reaches out and decides to bring him in for an interview and makes an offer, we'll see how committed he truly is.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.